Today on Desert Island Movies, it is steelbook time. Well, primarily steelbooks. There's a couple of other bits thrown in as well. So let us begin. Yes, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Desert Island Discs, Desert Island Movies, whatever you want to call it. And today we are going to be looking at steelbooks. I'm back over on the steelbook side of things, and let me tilt the camera. I am going down here. As you can see, it's too deep. It's actually too deep. It wouldn't usually be too deep. It's just that I stuck some stuff in front recently that I haven't yet got to put away elsewhere in the collection. So we will include that stuff as well. Alexa going off there. So it may come up again. But yeah, so we will begin down here. So we'll get straight into it. But before we do, which is a bit of a contradiction, saying we'll get straight into it and then saying before we do, because it's getting away from getting straight into it. You know what to do. Let me know in the comments as we proceed the film that you may think that I will pick. See if you know me, how well you know me. And also, by the end, let me know what film you would pick. This is just an interesting way of me looking through the collection again, using it as something different, so to speak. And yeah, but it was this video series that got me into doing my cull in the collection, interestingly enough, because going through all of the Blu-rays, I came to realise there was a lot of rubbish in the collection and a lot of doubles as well. So that set me on that journey. Doing this video series set me on that series journey. Yes, so let us begin. So I'm going to just take from the front. So first up, now remember, if the set includes more than one film, you can't take the set because it's multiple films. You have to pick one film, okay? We're only taking one film with us. That's the rules. I set the rules. It's my rules. I'm playing by them rules. I expect you to play by them rules as well. So when I say to you, here is the 4K set for Conan and Conan the Destroyer, Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer, the Arnold Schwarzenegger classics, you can't say, oh, we'll take them, because there's two in there. No. You just pick one film. So this is the Arrow set that came out in the United States. I actually got it free. Amazon refunded me on this set because, well, I complained about a little bit of damage. And looking at it now, it's very, very minuscule. I cannot complain. But yeah, I did. And I didn't expect to get a full refund. But yet they gave me one. So happy days for me. Not so much for Amazon, but yes. A great lovely thick book in there. That was a very big buying point, was the making of book that is included within that. And then we have here, okay, these ain't steel books. Like I said, there's a few bits here that aren't steel books. It is the 101 release of Alligator and Alligator 2. I really enjoy Alligator, the first Alligator film. I loved it as a kid. Obviously, Jaws is my favourite film of all time. And Alligator is a film that was inspired by Jaws. It's that kind of creature feature. Animal runs amok kind of a thing. And as a kid, I used to watch Alligator, the first one. I really enjoyed it. I remember in the 1990s, early 1990s, when Alligator 2 came out. It was a straight-to-video feature. I've yet to watch Alligator 2 here. I need to get around to it. So, could Alligator be a contender? You never know. And then we have here, again, from Arrow, and it is the 4K release of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Donald Sutherland. We all know the ending. It certainly stays with you, especially when you're a young kid watching this at the time it came out. It certainly does stay with you. So let me just move that aside a bit. So I just need to make a little bit of room because I'm stacking these first bits on the table. So here we have a steelbook. I picked it up quite cheap, and it is for The Little Mermaid, the Disney remake film. And I didn't mind the film. I have never seen the animated Little Mermaid. I'll be honest, I've never seen the animated film. Even though I've got a daughter, so you'd think, well, maybe you would have watched it. But no, never seen the animated film, so I couldn't draw any sort of comparison between one and the other. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's probably a good thing. As for the sort of race swapping of the main character, it has no bearing on me. Now I've been very vocal about race swapping of characters in the past. It's not really a practice that I like, you know, for reasons to do with, well, I don't, yeah, as much as I wouldn't want to see Superman as a black character, I wouldn't want to see Luke Cage or Blade as a white character. But that being said, the conclusion I came to in regards to that is ultimately it depends on how invested I am in the character in the first place. So with The Little Mermaid, I've got no interest in, you know, I've never seen, I mean, I'm aware of it, I'm aware of the character of Ariel with her red hair, but I've never seen the film. I've got no investment with that animated film, so the fact the character here was played by this girl of colour, Halle Bailey, I think her name was, I thought she was very good in the role. I thought she'd done a really good job. Yes, so it depends on, you know, how invested you are in the first place. Yeah, so there we go. And then we have The One. Jet Li, Jason Statham with hair. And yeah, I don't mind this film. I remember when it first came out. And this was about £8 for this steelbook from 88 Films. A nice pickup, nice sale pickup, that one. What do we have next? We have, back to a Blu-ray, Sound of Freedom with Jim Caviezel. Now, I can't mention Jim Caviezel without mentioning the TV series Person of Interest. It's a fantastic TV series. I enjoyed this film. I thought it was very good. That's the one that Disney tried to bury for a considerable amount of time. Then we have the 88 Films release of Miami Vice Blu-ray. See, now this stuff really should be over there. Now, I did have the previous release of Miami Vice, and it was probably, it made my culling. It was sold to CEX, as far as I'm aware, as I recall. Or is it still sat over there? No, it would have gone. It would have gone. So this is the 88 Films release. I do like 88 releases like this. I think they're a good value for money. You know, you pay, you know, a small price point above a standard Blu-ray, and you get book, poster, art cards, whatever it may be, all with a double thick, shiny slip. I think that's good value for money. So next up we have David Cronenberg. For me, David Cronenberg, I can take him or leave him. Some of his stuff I like, some I don't. And Existence. Existence is a film. I remember going to see this at the cinema upon release. It was up in London's Leicester Square in the Warner Brothers Cinema. I believe it was the Warner Brothers Cinema, which is now the View Cinema. I'm sure that's where I saw it. Yeah. That's from 101. 101 Films. Then we do have a still... this is a lovely steelbook for a great classic 80s movie. Footloose. Come on. You know, Kevin Bacon, Footloose. Yeah, I really like the design. I don't know, I just like the design of this steelbook. I like the colours, they kind of speak to me. The sort of Walkman cassette kind of look to it with a little sticker on it, if it would be a sticker, you know what I mean. Yeah, and stickers stuck to the back. It's a nice release for a decent film, a decent Kevin Bacon movie. Next up, and still sealed. No, it ain't sealed, it's open. I did open this. I done an opening. Pumpkinhead. Directed by Stan Winston of, you know, of all people. You know, Stan Winston's Creature Workshop. I've never seen the sequels. Pumpkinhead is a film that I remember... I've never owned it on physical media till this day, till I got this. And it is... it's great design. Great design creature. It's one of those films I used to rent back in the day as a youngster in the 80s. I was just, I don't know, the design of the creature I liked it. I really liked the design. Thank you to Lee Eels for getting that one for me into the country. Same with The Mist. He got me The Mist as well. Thomas Jane. Frank Darabont. You know, there's a few Walking Dead alumni in this movie. Before they'd done The Walking Dead. Yeah, it's a decent film. And that ending, that's another ending that sticks with you. A brave ending of that movie. So, we've got some comic book stuff now. We have X-Men 1. We have X-Men 2. X-Men The Last Stand. These steelbooks here I picked up off of Zavvi when they were doing 3 for £20. I think it was 3 for 20, yeah. No brainer to get them. I didn't have steelbooks for them. These are all lenticular steelbooks. First Class. Days of Future Past. Apocalypse. And Dark Phoenix, which was the one I already had. I'd already picked this up for about £9, something cheap, ages ago, because it was a lenticular steelbook. And then we have the Road Cut, X-Men Days of Future Past, the Road Cut there as well. So, yeah, buying the others then made me sort out that steelbook. And then again, Leals, thank you again for this. Young Guns. Oh, what a great film. William H. Bonney, you are not a god. That's actually a line from Blaze of Glory, sequel. I remember seeing Young Guns when it came out, not in the cinema. I think it was an 18. I would have been too young, but certainly Young Guns 2, Blaze of Glory, I saw theatrically. I went to see it when that came out. Very good film. Film that I adore both of them. I mean, the first one's the better of the two, but I like both of the films. Now let's see what we've got hidden in here. Okay, so we have Skyfall, steelbook. Very, very good James Bond film, Daniel Craig James Bond film. I do like that one a lot. Then I picked this up cheap, and it's not a great film, directed by Neil Marshall. And it is Hellboy. This is the remake, not a Ron Perlman one. This is the David Harbour version of Hellboy. Milla Jovovich starred in it as well. Ian McShane. Now, I got this cheap in a sale, and I know that this steelbook doesn't work for everyone, but the art on this steelbook is done by the fella who created Hellboy. You know, this is his art. Yeah, so for me as a comic book fan as well, the art works for me, but I can get it's very stylized, and it may not work for everyone. I totally get that. And then we have what could be a contender, Oscar winner movie, Oppenheimer. Yeah. Is that your pick? Would that be your pick? It's a good film. It's a very, very, very well-made film. But I honestly don't know how often I'd give this film a rewatch, because it's like watching a biographical movie, essentially. I don't see too much return value in it. But I recognise that everything about the film, technically speaking, it is fabulous. So I'm reaching down to grab some. That's what I'm doing when I do this. Okay, so this could be a contender for some people, most definitely. And it is... Wondering what that is? The Thing. The Thing with the Japanese artwork steelbook. I picked this up in CEX a little while ago. Very cheap. Comes with poster as well. Obviously, I have several editions of this movie. I do have a special edition release up there. And I have a lovely, somewhere, Titans of Cult release of it as well. And I picked that up as well, yes. It's a very, very good film, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone picked that as their favourite. And then another film that I picked up on 4K in America, the release that came out, is Barbarella. Yeah, Queen of the Galaxy. Steelbook for it. But I have the other release, the more recent 4K release of it. And then we have a Blu-ray edition of Man of Steel, Dawn of Justice, Ultimate Edition. This is from Germany, and I think I got this off of Lee Hills again. He was getting rid of his one when they announced the 4K version in this country. I said I'd buy this one off of him. It's a Mondo Steelbook. I've got the film on 4K anyway, so it didn't bother me that it was just a Blu-ray within there. I recently watched, as I sat recording this, I recently watched Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, then Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and they work really well together. And then I topped it off with The Flash. I ended it with The Flash, which was like a palate cleanser. A nice goodbye to that universe, so to speak. And it worked quite well like that. Obviously, The Flash isn't as good as the others, but I do enjoy the Flash movie. Okay, so next up, there's a lot of good films on this shelf. There are, because I've just picked up U571. Lovely steelbook, some debossing on it there. You know, this is World War II submarine movie. I like submarine movies. I like World War II movies. Okay, it rewrites history. Let's get that one out of the way. But it's, you know, it's a good popcorn movie. And here's a film that is a contender, most definitely. Speed. Keanu Reeves. It's a bomb on a bus. Sandra Bullock. 4K steelbook. Great film. It's a Die Hard rip-off, but it's a great film. And who doesn't like Keanu Reeves? And thanks to Lee, this one was gifted to me, and it is Hell or High Water, with a lovely slipcover, Best Buy kind of exclusive stuff. I think Walmart now sell this one as well. They've kind of taken them on in America. I like the face. It's like a, you know, mirror sunglasses. You can see one another in it. Chris Pine. Jeff Bridges there. Jeff Bridges is a great actor. He is. Ben Foster's in this. Ben Foster's very good as well. Then we have, for you anime lovers, Ghost in the Shell. This is the anime version, not the live action. Next up, Lee got this one into the country for me as well. Oh, he's done so much for me, getting me this stuff into the country. And a film that I love and adore, Universal Soldier, the first one. Yeah, it's a great film. It really is, with a great slipcover. Look at that. Luke Devereaux and whatever the other character's name was, I can't remember. Yeah, superb. Moving along, we have Denzel in The Equalizer 3. I believe this is the only Equalizer film that I've got on 4K, and it was a nice goodbye to the character. Denzel Washington, an actor who is always reliable in what he does. He's a fantastic actor, you know, truly is. If a film comes along with Denzel in it, you've got to give it the time of day, because he is very reliable. Then we have Soul, the Disney Pixar movie. Steelbook edition there. And we will come back to some more of these in a minute, but we have here Star Wars The Last Jedi Steelbook. because I've got more Star Wars on the shelf, most definitely. I think this is the bravest, I've said this before, it's the bravest of the 3 Star Wars prequel trilogy movies. Aesthetically speaking, it's the best looking. You know, it dared to be different, and people didn't like that. And I get a lot of the criticism about the film, but I think in time, I'd probably say the best of the 3. Honestly, in the sense that the first one is just a remake of A New Hope, nothing more, complete rehash of A New Hope. The third one isn't worth anything, not worth anything. I mean, it's a bad conclusion to a bad trilogy, and this one here, it makes a lot of missteps. It really does, and the side quests that, you know, a couple of these characters go on in it, stupid as hell, pointless. The narrative makes very little sense, the chase, but aesthetically speaking, it's like I said, it's the best looking, and story wise, it is most definitely the bravest of the 3, in that it dared to do different. It dared to divert expectation massively, and people were all upset by that. They started crying because Luke Skywalker changed, his character changed. Well, I certainly hope that in 30, 40 years time, if I look back on myself as I am now to how I will be then, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be the same person as I am now. Life has a way, and experiences have a way of changing you. And so there's, you know, why wouldn't Luke Skywalker have become grumpy and given up on stuff and this sort of a thing? Stuff happens that affects you up here, and you change as a person. No one, you know, if I look back to 20 years ago, the individual that I was 20 years ago compared to who I am now today, I'm not the same as what I was 20 years ago, thank God. It would be stupid if I was the same person as I was 20 years ago, exactly the same person. Then I've lived a very shallow life, and nothing has gone on that has altered my outlook and my perspective for good or worse on things. But people expect Luke Skywalker to stay the same. Anyway, next up, Solo, A Star Wars Story. A very underrated Star Wars movie, in my opinion. Yes, this film wasn't needed. It was not needed. We didn't need a origin story for the character of Han Solo. But when you take this into the context of like The Mandalorian and shows like that, it very much works. It feels like it's more akin to that stuff than the film stuff that we got, if that makes sense. And what's his face? Get his name now. I thought it was pretty good. I know everyone else wanted that geezer, the one who does the good Harrison Ford impression, to play the part, but I wouldn't want to sit down and watch 2 hours of someone doing a Harrison Ford impression. Yeah, you need someone who can capture the feel of the character but be somewhat different, and he did. Okay, never cast an impressionist. Stupid. That would be stupid. Anyway, moving on. What do we have here? Ooh. We have steelbook of comic book character, The Rocketeer. Yeah, look at that. That's a lovely steelbook. Really is a fantastic looking still. And I really need to bag these up, put them in protectors. And you'll see a lot of them aren't, which is bad of me. But there we go. Great film. I love this film. That's a great looking steelbook. Then we have here the remake of RoboCop. What a fantastic cast this film has in it. Joel Kinnaman, he's very good. I like him now. Michael Keaton, fantastic. Gary Oldman, Sam Jackson, Jackie Earle Haley is in it. You know, you've got a top-notch cast in a film that never needed to be remade. Didn't need it. And that's next up, is telling me RoboCop. Oh, come on, RoboCop. This is the steelbook version. I have the special edition version as well up there somewhere. This was a staple of my childhood. This film is fantastic. I do love RoboCop. I got this steelbook very cheap. It had some minor scratches on it and a little tiny dent there. It's the 4K steelbook, like I said. But I didn't opt to get this. I opted to get the actual special edition release, and then this came along for me. You know, with the booklet and all that inside. I've got it very cheap with the tiny minor bits of damage to it, and I jumped at it. I don't mind having another version of RoboCop. I'm a big I mean, look, there he is. There's Robo. Go Robo. With an Ed 209 there and the RoboCop card there. I love Robo. Go Robo. Next up, still sealed, and I did get rid of the standard disc of this that I had, Red Sparrow, with Jennifer Lawrence in it, and I enjoyed this film. I thought it was pretty good. Slow burn, but I enjoyed it. Disney's Raya, the Last Dragon. Quite enjoyable. Lovely looking steelbook on that. Lovely looking steelbook. Beautiful steelbook. Delving into a bit of TV. I've got some TV steelbooks here. Red Dwarf 10. Smoke me a kipper. I'll be back for breakfast. I love Red Dwarf. A big fan of Red Dwarf. Yeah, always have been. Always. I love me some Red Dwarf. I do have the Red Dwarf series are just behind them there. They're there. The box set and the series that continue on from it. Then we have, I'll do these in one hit, sort of. I'll do these. Sherlock Season 1. Sherlock Complete Series 2. Sherlock Complete Series 3. Sherlock The Abominable Bride. Great steelbooks. And then Sherlock Series 4, which completely changed up the art design of the steelbooks. But there we go. So, yeah, I'd let you take one. I'd let you choose one of these. I know there's 3 films per series, essentially. I love Benedict Cumberbatch in this role. I think he is really good. I like Benedict Cumberbatch as an actor. I think he's a very good actor. You know, I can't really fault him. He is very good. So, let's get into what we have here now. I've just picked a load up. And this is a... it's German steelbook for the Metal Hurlant Chronicles TV series, Season 1. There was a Series 2 done as well, which I do have on standard Amaray in amongst all this lot behind me. Blu-ray Amaray. That's actually Kelly Brook on the cover. There. Character that Kelly Brook played in the series. And you got what's his face there, who was in Stargate Atlantis. Michael J. White is in there. Rutger Hauer, I believe that to be. Is that Scott Adkins in there? I think that is. Yeah, nice steelbook. With some debossing on it in there as well. Next up, what do we... Saving Private Ryan. Oh, what a great film. What a wonderful movie this is. I do have it on 4K, but this steelbook, this Blu-ray steelbook is going nowhere. It's a very nice sort of ammo case design steelbook for great film. I remember seeing it at the cinema. Look at the design on that. Look at the design. Sharknado. What a lovely design that is. Now I have this on 4K and I do have another Blu-ray steelbook for it. Yes, I have 3 versions of Sharknado. It would have been 4 versions if I didn't get rid of the Blu-ray standard that I got rid of. Yeah. You'd have seen a Barbie version of that in a previous video, not too many episodes ago. And then we have Seraphim Falls. Look at that steelbook. Cost me £2 in CEX. I think this now goes for about £12. You see it pop up every now and then on Amazon for 12 quid. And hard to believe that once you could pick it up in CEX at that cost in there. It was a good film. It was a good film. Then we have Shrek. 20th anniversary steelbook. It's the only Shrek film I really needed on 4K. It's the only Shrek film I really feel I need in the collection, I'll be honest with you. I think that the second Shrek film is okay, but for me, the first one, I'm fine with just visiting the first one. Oh, and then we have Sin City. Jessica Alba on the cover. That's a great steelbook as well. Great design. What a great film Sin City was. When it came out, I kept watching it over and over again. It's based on a graphic novel by Frank Miller, who gave us The Dark Knight. You know, The Dark Knight Returns comic book, Frank Miller. He went on to direct Spirit, which never let a comic book person direct your movie. I hope the makers of Spawn, the new Spawn film, I know Todd McFarlane owns Spawn, but I don't want Todd McFarlane directing a Spawn movie because, yeah, he could screw up like what Frank Miller did. And I know Frank Miller directed small portions of this, but let's be honest, it was Robert Rodriguez, it wasn't Frank Miller. And then we have Sin City 2. Again, Jessica Alba, front and centre. About 8 years too late this film was. Great film. Not so much, but you know, you got one and you got to have the second. Now let's go where no man has. Let's get my lines out soon. I screwed that one up late. Now let's boldly go where no man has gone before. Okay, so we have, and these are all sealed. All right, I'll come to that afterwards. So we have Star Trek, the motion picture. These are lovely debossed steelbooks. Lovely, the art design is the original posters on all of these, so really nice. So yeah, we have Star Trek the motion picture. We have Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Then we have The Search for Spock. Now these all sort of form a picture on the side, 50th sort of anniversary kind of display. The Voyage Home. The Final Frontier. The William Shatner directed Star Trek movie. The Undiscovered Country. Nicholas Meyer directed Wrath of Khan. He came back to direct The Undiscovered Country. He had a hand in helping with the writing of 3 and 4, I believe, as I recall. And thanks to Gareth over at Video Tasties, I had the opportunity to spend 10 minutes talking to Nicholas Meyer when he had him on. I'll forever be indebted to Gareth for that. And then we have Star Trek Generations. I like Star Trek Generations. It's probably my favourite film in the Next Generation movies. See how they're making a picture there? 50th. We have First Contact, which will be other people's favourite Star Trek film, in either favourite Star Trek film or favourite Next Generation Star Trek film. I think Generations tops it for emotion and that. First Contact is a good film, but there's something about it. There's elements to it that I'm quite critical of. I'll be honest. Then we have Insurrection. TV episode time. What it feels like. And one of the lowest taken movies in the Star Trek franchise, Nemesis. Yes, so all of those Star Trek films go to form that 50th anniversary thing on the side. They're all still sealed. Why are they all still sealed? Because what happened was I already had the Star Trek films in a box set and I still have them. And then slowly I picked up all of them. And they were going cheap, very cheap at times. You know, a few quid, some of them just a couple of quid each. In HMV sales and things like that. The one I paid the most for was The Wrath of Khan. and I got that for £17. And at the time it was changing hands for about 40-50 quid. And what happened was I got it on Amazon. It just popped up on Amazon one day. There was one there for sale on Amazon Prime. I don't know if they found it down the back of the couch or what happened there. How they just got one and straight away just went bang, buy it. And I got them all. I didn't intend to get them all. I just did. But anyway, moving on. We have Star Trek. Yes, so they're all sealed because I have them previously, so I didn't feel the need to open them up. No other reason. So Star Trek, the 2009, I think it was, comeback with Chris Pine. You know, never thought they'd be able to recast these characters, Spock, Bones and Kirk, but they managed it. And I'm not the biggest fan of Chris Pine, but I think he's fine in these as Kirk. I think he's very likeable. Then we have Star Trek Into Darkness with Benedict Cumberbatch, who I spoke about a bit earlier. And I don't mind the film. I don't like the fact that it had to retell the Khan stuff and turn it on its head and do a flip with the character deaths at the end and that stupidness. That was never ever needed. Most definitely a very stupid thing to do. But I thought that Benedict Cumberbatch was fine in it. Not necessarily fine as Khan, but he was good in it. He gave a good performance. Chewing the scenery up massively. I just don't think they should ever have done Khan. I think most people feel that way. Then we have another Into Darkness steelbook. What one would you keep? I'm keeping both. What one do you prefer? Let me know. That one or that one? That one or that one? And then we have a steelbook for Star Trek Beyond, like that. Much, you know, it sort of kind of harks back to that original first poster for Star Trek in its design. So, moving on. We have TV Time, actually. And if you want to choose one of these, you can, why not? Star Trek Discovery. These are on the shelf. Star Trek Discovery Season 1. Star Trek Discovery Season 2. The best series. The best of the Discovery seasons. Why? Because Anson Mount is introduced as Captain Christopher Pike. And he helps elevate this show above and beyond what it actually is, which is pretty boring, really. Then we have Season 3. Then we have Star Trek Discovery Season 4. Michael Burnham, front and centre on the cover. Now, as I'm recording this, Series 5 of Star Trek Discovery has just begun. Episodes 1 and 2 have aired. I attempted to watch Episode 1 and it sent me to sleep. Thank God it is the final season. But then we have Picard Season 1. These are all still sealed because, stupidly, in my collecting, I would buy these in a steelbook and as a standard release. I sold on all the doubles. I did. So I've just got the steelbooks for them. Then we have, this is a lovely steelbook, Season 2 with Q there on the front. And it's a lovely looking steelbook, black and white with the gold. Works really well. It's just a shame that it was just, they were all in on that series. Every possible Star Trek trope that the fans love were thrown into that series, and Q wasn't even in it. You know, he was like a bloody, a cameo appearance in a series that he was meant to be the primary villain. But there we go. Then we have a Star Trek Picard Series 3, which is the strongest of the Star Trek Picard series. Plays more like you could watch it as a Season 8 of Star Trek Next Generation if you wanted. It's good. And then my personal favourite of the new Star Treks is Strange New Worlds. Seriously, I think Anson Mount just commands the screen as Captain Christopher Pike. And, you know, it's great. It really is a sort of return to form for Star Trek. It truly is. Then we have Season 2. Not really a great steelbook, but he is very good, and he has wonderful hair. Yeah, he has great hair. I'm jealous of it, obviously. You know me. Stresses of life have caused a falling of hair for me. There we go. And then we have season 1 steelbook of Star Trek Lower Decks. Only season 1 got a steelbook. Is it the USS Syracuse or something like that? Is that the name of the ship? I think it's a very good series. You know, it's made with a lot of love, a lot of Star Trek love. So moving on, we have just some random Star Wars movies on steelbook because I didn't bother getting all of the Star Wars films on steelbook. I've picked them up cheap as and when I found them, and we have the Phantom Menace. Not my favourite of Star Wars films, but a great, lovely poster on the front of that steelbook, which just, you know, it looks great. And then we have The Empire Strikes Back steelbook, but that's not the steelbook. That's actually a magnet on the front. I'd bought a magnet off of someone, a steelbook magnet, and inside the pack came Empire Strikes Back steelbook as well, magnet as well. Sorry, and I don't know if it was a mistake or just like a gift. I don't know, but that was it's still a nice steelbook. But what you will find about this here steelbook is that it actually sits empty because someone was selling that steelbook on eBay for maybe £4 or something, and I bought it just because it was a cheap steelbook, and it sits empty on my shelf. But I'll still let you take the film. It's a film. It's not in there, but we're not taking. You know, it's about the film. And then we have the steelbook for Star Wars Rogue One, which I do really enjoy. Great Star Wars film. And we have another steelbook, second steelbook for Solo, Star Wars Story. Yes, so there we go. Three. What am I saying? Three. Second one of these. 3D. That's what I'm saying. It's 3D. Yes. So Solo, Star Wars Story, underrated Star Wars film, as I said. So there we go. We're at the end. We are at the end of that shelf, right? So it's time to pick. It's time to pick what you would take. Let me know in the comments down below. Seriously, that does intrigue me because it shows what films you like, and I am genuinely interested because sometimes I get some amazing answers, you know, films that I would never have thought anyone would say. I would take that, you know, and that always intrigues me, but I'm going to step away and I'll be back momentarily with my choice as well. Okay, so after much deliberation, I have taken a look, and I have picked, I think. So, a couple of runners up. So, first of all, some people might say, oh, you're going to pick this. Robocop. Yes, now I would pick Robocop, but I'm pretty sure that it won in a shelf that I did before, where I've got my standard Robocop releases. So, that one's out of the equation. For that reason, but most certainly potential winner, because if it hadn't been picked before, it would be picked now and would trump the film that I am going to pick. But my rules, I didn't say this earlier, if I've picked a film before in a previous video, hopefully I won't pick it again. You know what I mean? I can't remember everything I've picked. I should have written them down, shouldn't I? As I went along, but I didn't. I'm not that organised. So, another one, Young Guns, runner-up. Great film. Great film. I really enjoy it. It's got a great soundtrack too. Like musical score to it. I really enjoy the musical score. Yeah, it's a good cast. And then we have I've got two here and I don't know what to go for. I'll show you them both together. These are the two that I'm torn on. I'm torn. There we go. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. My favourite Star Trek film. and Saving Private Ryan. Oh, two different type of films, most definitely. You can't compare. No comparison between two sort of films and what they do, etc. Oh, I don't think I've picked. I think Private Ryan may have came up a couple of times before, and I didn't pick it. But it pains me. It really pains me. But I'm gonna have to say goodbye to Saving Private Ryan. I love Saving Private Ryan. It really is. But then I look at this and I think this is just, this for me, it's just an amazing film. I love it. The James Horner soundtrack. I've got this James Horner soundtrack on CD. Yeah, on CD. And music like the Battle in the Mutara Nebula. That sound, that score, that piece of music, and the Genesis Countdown, things like that. You know, not only is this a great film, it's got a great score, memorable, really, you know. And so not only could I watch this film, I could actually sit and watch this with my eyes shut and just listen to the music in the film. It works on many a level in that sense. So yes, and it's so, you know, well written, that sort of, you know, and Star Trek has played on the Moby Dick stuff before, and it sort of plays on it here as well. You know, the white whale, Khan is almost, you know, he's Ahab in this. Kirk is his white whale, and he has to hunt him down, and everything in it, you know, and it destroys his ship. His crew dies because of it, because of this need, this hatred, this, you know, it's a great film, and like I said, Nicholas Meyer just, you know, he revived Star Trek on the big screen. You had Star Trek the motion picture, which I'm not going to knock. It's a great film, especially now watching it as an adult. Yes, I understand as a younger person I thought bloody hell it was quite boring, but it's slow paced. It's grandiose in visually, but Star Trek 2 is just, it hit the ground running, and it ramped things up, and the special effects look great. The space battle, the way it's an underwater submarine battle essentially, you know, it wasn't, you know, it's not ships flying around like that, choo 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 choo, like what Star Trek First Contact does. It uses its space, you know, when the ships are dropping like that. It's almost like submarine warfare in what it does, and that, you know, I like submarine movies, I like underwater movies, and that's what this film essentially is. It's a submarine movie for the most part. Yeah, it's just, it's fantastic. It's fantastic in what it does, and, you know, you don't even get a meeting of Kirk and Khan in this film. They don't meet up. It's all done in their respective, over the radios and all this sort of a thing. There's no face to face between them, and, you know, the uniforms, the design of the uniforms that they use in these films, you know, the reds, they went on to be used all the time because they look great. They really, you know, this is Star Trek at its best. Probably, yeah, Gene Roddenberry probably won't be happy, but have been happy with it, or wasn't happy with it. But no, this took Star Trek in a sort of more militaristic approach, and that way, it's just a fantastic film. And anyway, so that's my pick anyway. Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan. What's your pick? Let me know down below in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up if you will, or a thumbs down, really doesn't matter. Maybe share the video if you like, if you know, think of anyone who might be interested in it. And subscribe if you haven't, why not? And that's me done. So thank you for watching. Honestly, I really appreciate it. I look forward to reading your comments and your picks. Bring them in. Let me know what your pick was, and I'll see you on the next one. Couple of weeks. 4K shelf.